Namaskar viewers. Today we have in our studio a very eminent personality, Mrs. Geetha Shankar, who is the National President of PRCI, Public Relations Council of India, the national chapter. She has come all the way from Bangalore. Welcome, ma'am. Welcome to our RSTV studio.
Thank you so much, Anjana ji. It's my privilege. I'm blessed to be here at the studio in Rourkela Steel Plant. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And it's my privilege to have a short interview with her, and she will share her feelings about PR and other things. Mrs. Geetha Shankar is on her first visit to Rourkela. She's a multifaceted personality. She started her career as an announcer in Doordarshan and All India Radio. She is the founder of Center of Communication Excellence for Training. She has a lot of international experience. She has worked in Singapore, in the Gulf countries and the US. She is an international trainer and an L&D professional. Of course, she has won many awards, which we are not going into, and she is a TEDx speaker. And apart from that, she's a dancer, she's a singer, she's a writer and whatnot. So we are really happy to have her in the studio, and we would like you to share your experiences with our Rourkela audience.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So Geetha ma'am, since you have a lot of experience in PR, how do you think public relations has changed over the last decade?
Oh yeah. Public relations is no more of fluff, I would call it. It is not those days of people wearing the pink shirt.
Right.
That era has gone. It is like, it has transformed rapidly and in a systematic manner today from a gatekeeper dependent press agentry. PR people, they have moved on to a data driven digital algorithms. Yeah, they have become orchestrators of such data driven people. Earlier, public relations people were very emotional and friendly with the journalists because we were waiting for their print nods. Is our release going to be published and things like that? But now everything is algorithm driven. And another thing is traditional media, we depended more on journalists for their press releases, etc. But now things are changing. We have our own social media, we have our earned media, and we have our own media in the hands. And we are all bloggers, and we are also all podcasters.
Right.
With all this in our hands, I think we are driving PR to very great heights.
That's nice to hear. Because earlier PR was viewed as a different kind of profession.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So in your experiences, what do you think are the challenges which PR professionals face today?
Yeah, the challenges faced by PR professionals are multidimensional too.
Yes.
It could be the young ones, or it could be those people who have been in profession for 2 decades plus more. And it is like, it depends on their tenure. For example, people who have been in PR for more than 20 years, it's like, it's become entirely tech-driven.
Correct.
And now they need to cope up with this. We need to cope up with this. Earlier, when the computers were there, how we all started learning computers, finger by finger, typing and trying to get so many things. And we learnt all this. And now everything is AI driven, social media driven. And so we are keeping up with the trend, learning every day, relearning every day, unlearning every day. So it is more of like a tech driven, and we need to stay relevant also to the current times. And that is why bridging the skills gap enters now, and we are constantly building, reskilling and upskilling ourselves. That is the greatest challenge. And next is, there's a lot of economic uncertainty. I'm not talking about the public sectors or PSUs, etc. Especially in the private companies, etc., in agencies, there's a lot of economic uncertainty. and the change of leadership, change of culture, and the PR people have to adapt themselves to it. And the next is like, the work is so tight, and sometimes there is a hybrid model. And how do you adapt yourself? The work culture, and it's also about adapting to it, and economic uncertainty, as I said, hire and fire. And one more thing, what I wanted to tell you is about the mental health well-being.
Yes,
that goes for a toss. So where is your work-life balance? And most importantly, and all these things make the PR professionals, they have to be ready always, 24/7 into 365 days. And so these are some of the challenges which I'm mentioning now.
True. There's so many challenges they face. And in a steel plant like Rourkela steel plant, there are different kinds of challenges.
Yeah, I was talking to some of your people here, and what they said is they also need to take care of the community which is here.
Yes, true.
The CSR activity, something happens, and even they are responsible for that. So that challenges are also there. It's almost like every day there are crises everywhere, and then you have to have lots and lots of remedies with them, attend to it, and these are the few challenges.
So many challenges. Right. Thank you, ma'am. Now, when we talk of PR, we also talk of trust, credibility, and patience. So, as the young generation, they often say we have a very small attention span, the Gen Z and others. So, how can we build trust, credibility, and patience in the young aspiring PR professionals?
Yeah, very relevant. See, now PR it does not work in a jiffy. It's a long game, especially in this TikTok world. Okay, the young people with the limited attention span, as what you have mentioned, they have to inculcate trust plus time plus patience. It's almost like the bamboo tree. The bamboo tree, you water it every day, and nothing grows for 3 years. Not even one leaf comes. But after 3 to 4 years, it shoots up to a very great height. So that much of patience is what is needed. And especially the young the generation Z or the Alpha, do they have the patience? They need to cultivate that patience, credibility, and the trust, which is very important. And what should they do for that? They need to seek a lot of mentorship.
Yeah, that is very important.
Yes, seeking mentorship and focus on long-term goals than immediate goals. Yeah, okay, this is a profession I have chosen. Let me stick on to it and let me focus on it. I would get the results. And next is focus on quality. I usually tell my students or the people whom I meet, focus on quality more than the quantity. See, usually for quality, it starts with the letter Q. And the Q has a small little spoke on it. Okay, once the spoke is removed, it becomes a big zero. So focus on quality more. And the next is start measuring your milestones. Don't let them go. So when you measure all these milestones, I think you will naturally build in a lot of trust, credibility, and you are in for a success.
True. They have to get along with it and
Absolutely
decide to do it.
Yeah.
So as we all know, communication is very important for all of us, but it is the buzzword for PR professionals. So ma'am, could you tell us how important is communication for PR professionals?
Yeah, communication is the crux of everything, be it in PR or any other profession. Okay, usually what we say is communication on PR is selling solutions. Okay, you have to sell solutions to people. People are looking out for solutions and you need to sell them. So what does it require? It requires alignment, it requires clarity, it requires honesty. That's why we say ABC in communication. Okay, accuracy, brevity, clarity in communication. And earlier the Greeks were talking about ethos, pathos, and logos. Okay, what is this ethos which we talk? It's about the character and credibility of the person who's communicating. What we communicate to our clients or our stakeholders. That is the ethos part. Then comes the pathos part. Establish an emotional relationship with your client. Okay, that's more of pathos. And logos, all your communication should be data driven. Lots of data insights into your communication will definitely bring in a lot of communication clarity. So this is how I think the communication should be. And one more thing is, like, every PR person or an aspirant of PR should always start assessing themselves as to, am I upscaling every day in my communication? Is what I am saying is relevant to the situation? And am I learning anything new? All these add a lot of weightage, especially in communication. What do I tell them? How do I tell them? How do I make my clients feel? What do I want them to know? What do I want them to think about me? All this comes through communication.
So both internal and external both come.
Yes, yes, yes.
And that's very important for PR.
Yeah.
Because somewhere they are looking for what you're communicating, how you're communicating.
How you're communicating, the words, the voice, the body language.
Everything.
Everything. And even in written communication, it is absolutely
Each
important.
word.
Yeah, each word matters.
So, ma'am, we were just now talking about the crisis they face. So, are there any strategies which they can take up for facing the crisis or challenges?
Yeah, crisis. Lots and lots of crises are there in PR. It could be finance. It could be anything. The product crisis. Okay, now that the social media, everything happens so fast.
So fast.
And how quickly you respond, more than reacting, how quickly you respond to it is very, very important. Well, to manage any crisis, why it happens even in home, it happens everywhere. All of a sudden it happens. Are you prepared for it? So there could be short-term strategies. There could be long-term strategies also. What are the short-term strategies handling a crisis? It could be like, first and foremost, is my stakeholder safe?
Yes.
Safety is absolutely important. Okay. Is my communication transparent? Is it genuine? Am I speaking the truth?
Yeah.
Okay. And the next is assess the immediate resources. Okay. Quickly, how do I assess immediate resources which are needed in that crisis? Identify them and make them available. And give short-term solutions, because you do not have enough time to think about it, and quickly give short-term solutions. And also keep monitoring your competitor. You should be aware, lot of awareness about what the competitor's landscape is going to be. All this is going to be the short term. And what about the long term? Long term, you have little time now. Let's say 1 month to 12 months. So your thinking, your thought process can be much better now. And what do? Now you start executing strategic pivots. Okay, the strategies have to be built very carefully. And next is, you have to start investing in new capabilities. Okay, the old sometimes becomes irrelevant. So start investing in new capabilities and look around for emerging opportunities. Once you do that, crises to some extent could be solved.
True. And sometimes, like, people say there's no comment. I don't think that's a very good way of managing a crisis.
It isn't. It's like you're playing very safe, and without giving a solution, you're doing it.
People get worried.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's a one-stop shop for crisis management.
It isn't there. It depends on the situation. It depends on the crisis. For example, we have so many incidents all across, how, for example, you had this crisis in Maharashtra, and then during Diwali, when all the food supplies, customers couldn't get it. What did they do then? How did they say, we are sorry? How did they apologize? And then the Slack, the app, which was... which really went down for almost 3 hours. The world over, there was a disruption in communication service. And what did they do? They said, okay, now look, it is only through our website we are going to get the results. And they asked all their customers to look into the website. That was one point of contact for them. And they kept reassuring the customers every half an hour that how they are working on the crisis. So there are we have to, all this, these are like lessons, the takeaways which we'll have to understand.
And there's so many different kinds of challenges one can face.
Yeah.
Depending on the industry and the
exactly,
kind of
the
work
product, the service, etc.
Right. A lot of young people are now going in for PR because there are many career options. So what are the career options that you can suggest in PR for young aspirants?
Well, I would definitely say PR has got lots and lots of opportunities.
Right.
I always advise students, come on, take. I mean, this is like, there are lots of options, generalized. It is, you can be specific also in this, and it can also be a generalized one.
Right.
How we all came into this field molding. I remember I started off from Doordarshan. That was where my communication, I polished my communication, and all of a sudden we had to announce when a crisis arose. Right? And then it gave us lots of a push on communication. Okay? You were good in communication, you started improving your communication, and then what happened? That alone is not enough. Next is writing. For us, writing was, we did not have AI or anything.
No.
It was only Ren and Martyr and the dictionary, which were totally by our side, and reading newspaper. That was a ritual every day. And we started developing our languages. Well, so written is taken care, oral is taken care. Then what next? We moved on. The social media came. What do I do? How do I tag people? What do I write? Limited words.
Yeah.
Social media, only this many words. So how do I write? How do I condense it? So with all this, we grew up. And public relations is a beautiful profession where you have lots and lots of scope. Well, what do? You can be a content creator. You're good in writing, be a content creator. And the next is, you can be a content developer. It's already created. Now you can be a content developer. You can be an influencer. How many influencers are there? Fashion influencers, food influencers. Yeah.
Lots.
And I found an influencer only for your footwear.
Wow.
And what beautiful products of the feet he or she recommends.
Wow.
Yeah, then the fashion. And there are so many influencers you can
Travel
take.
and all.
Travel influencers. And it depends on each one's interest. And then what can you do? You can become a blogger. You have the choice of becoming a vlogger, then social media manager. If you know how to tag people, you know how to write, you can develop content, you know all the techniques of that. You can be a fundraiser in an NGO.
Wow.
Yeah. Then you can be a copywriter. You can be an investor relations. Okay, corporate social responsibility communicator, advocacy for so many things in PR. So the scope is wide, depends what you want to choose. The world is open for those who are open for opportunities.
Yeah. Mass communication, everything is there.
Yes.
So young aspirants can look for a good PR profession, and they can look for some good career options. So ma'am, this is your first visit to Rourkela. As we end, what is your opinion about the Steel City, though I think you didn't go around much?
Yeah.
But you met some people.
I did, and in fact, there was a program arranged today by Public Relations Council of India, Rourkela chapter, and the Management Association of Rourkela. It was beautiful, and then this more navigated about crisis communication and the strategies which we could follow. We had lovely speakers there. We had Ramendra, we had Mr. Giri, we had Archana ma'am from Rourkela steel plant. And thank you for giving me this opportunity. I came down from Bangalore, and in fact our chairman emeritus, Mr. M.B. Jayaram, was also supposed to be here, but since he had a lot of other engagements and activities, he couldn't make it. And then a whole lot of people, and there was a book release. Beautiful people, beautiful city. When Lord Jagannath is there, what more do we want? Okay, and I was surprised by the teamwork which the people in Rourkela steel plant, they were giving, and they were hand-holding with Archana Satpathy, like the way she was also getting the work done from her team very silently and with a lot of patience, and the team was too ready to cooperate with her, and everything started at the right time, ended at the correct time, no hiccups in between. I'm really mesmerized. Thank you so much.
That was so kind of you.
It isn't an exaggeration, it is the truth.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your generosity and hospitality.
Thank you for your kind words, and thank you for being with us here. and for sharing your views with our audience. They would love to know so much about PR from you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaskar.
Namaste.